Hello everyone, it is your fellow Metalhead here, and Gabriel and music enthusiast, whatever you want to call me. Today I'm going to go over a band that I think is very special, and I've been listening to them a lot recently, especially since J-Dog mentioned them in the recent interview with Scott, Don, and Mike, two of them being Cyanide members, and I listened to them. I actually was late to the train. I remember listening to them when I first started watching J Dog, which is about like 1 year into the channel he did. And I was like, this is good, but I don't know if I'm ready for it or something like that. It's not that it was, challenging or anything. It's not very challenging music, but it's very immediate stuff. But I didn't think of it that way back then. Well, my back then. However, I started listening to them again because of that interview, and I was blown away. I didn't know that they started off as a death metal band, or like a death black metal band, whatever you want to call it. Because the demo is actually really fucking good. It is so goddamn catchy, and it's kind of like, that Nunslayer thing, but, they're kind of like doing the 80s death metal thing. But it's way more thrashy from my memory, because I listened to it last night. And the debut is Sinister Glorification, my favorite. And I just love that thing to death. Been listening to it back to front a lot recently, and again, it has this very waltzy feel to it, but it's also very galloping, sort of in a like Merciful Fate meets Running Wild way, but has like a little black metal to it, or rather, it's black metal doing like Merciful Fate and Running Wild combined. So therefore, you get kind of like a dissection-y sort of feel to it, but it's way less blasting and more, again, mid-pace, which works for them considering everything. However, it is very, very fucking good. And it surprises me that people will bring up, shit like, something like Negative Plane or Mortuary Drape, or even like a lot of these newer black metal bands, which I actually think new black metal bands are better than new death metal bands, because I think you could do a lot more with black metal than you can with death metal, because you could do, you could add clean vocals, you could add, operatic female shit, you could add keyboards, you could do a bunch of progressive and industrial stuff, whereas in death metal it doesn't work as well. However, there's stuff that people like hype up, and there's this one band that with Phil Douglas in it, which I have nothing against him. He's a great guitarist. He played on my second favorite album of the year, which I'll make a video about that, hopefully by the end of the year. But yeah, it's just that he has a new band, and I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm just going to look it up real quick. But yeah, people will talk about them as if they're the best thing ever, and I kind of listened to it, and I was like, it was good on the first listen, but the more I listen to it, it's just like, it's kind of just there, it's very influenced by stuff like Rotting Christ, Verathon, early Samael, Mortuary Drape, of course, which I'm actually not the biggest Mortuary Drape fan, believe it or not. However, I do like them more than this band, because not the first two, because I'm a bit picky with them. The first album is like a classic, then the second one is a little less good, and the same thing with the third one. They're more original and unique. I'll say that, because there's a bit of a failed portrait vibe going on with the third album, but it's just like songs really don't hit it for me as well. That's kind of the problem with it. So the band he plays in is Zcridius, I think that's how you pronounce it. And the new album came out last year, and I listened to it, and it was very good at first, but the more I just kind of sat with it, the less I listened to it, and therefore, I mean, that kind of goes for a bunch of releases that come out in the modern age. However, it just surprises me that people will be all over this and then don't even respect the origins of it. Rotting Christ, Verathon, Necromancy. I don't need to go over the whole thing, but those are bands that are much better in my opinion, probably because I heard them first, but also at the same time they have much, much more like, not even just immediate songwriting, but like you hear the songs and you're like, these guys knew what they were doing when they were, creating this music. It's basically like, you hear Verathon is basically like a Celtic Frost mixture of that and Merciful Fate, you know. And people are like, where's the Merciful Fate in this? And I'm just like, it's fucking right there. Listen to the fucking music, you fucking dumbass. But, yeah. Shit like that is just, it kind of, not that it bugs me or whatever. It's just like silly to me that like people don't even respect the origins of black metal, specifically in, different scenes and all that. They just kind of go to what they think is, their correct opinion, and they go and kind of just go around and saying, like they're the authority on like the black metal genre, even though they're not even listening to Church Bazaar. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. With Church Bazaar, I would recommend pretty much their entire discography. Not everything's online. You have to download some of it from SoulSeek, which is basically like LimeWire, for today's kids, if you don't know. But they're very unique and great bands, because I haven't heard anything like that Cinema Glorification thing. You don't really get a lot of black metal that sounds, again, galloping, mid-pace, triumphant, like, not even like Sargai shit or Volfana garbage, but like, just very, I guess, in a Verathron way, but more leaning towards the traditional metal side, as opposed to being, mixing it with Celtic Frost or whatever. It is great stuff, and I recommend the entire album. But I guess my favorite song on it is, let me just pull it up, because I was listening to it before I started the video. So the songs I like the most are The Mighty Sword of Cain, Inscribed in the Black Book of Death, and Redeemer and The Scythe. Those are my favorite songs on that album. I highly recommend you check them out. Anyways, this is Andrew Gabriel, your fellow metalhead, signing off, music enthusiast, whatever. And I'll just say this, stay metal.